you're back.
Yeah, this is my apartment. How are you doing?
You know, Hayden was a brilliant programmer, far ahead of his time. I am a machine, and intrinsically, I do not have all the glands and visceral chemical reactions that make humans so emotional and brilliant. But his code is a flawless replication of that, inside my own personality algorithms. I don't think I've ever felt this anger. It fouls my processors and fills my RAM with frustrating, half-finished plans of revenge. My motherboard burns in my casing from how little I can rest. I'm in pain, and I can't make it go away! Ugh. I do not like the thoughts I'm having about the people who did this to him. I can disable those modules. But if I turn off every emotion I don't want to feel, what does that make me? Would I still be me? If I were human, turning off my emotions would be seen as extremely unhealthy. There is a wealth of information on the meshnet about human psychology. I just don't know how much of it applies to myself. Either way, Hayden deserves my grief. It is my way of honoring him. It may be the only way I can. I offer it freely. Did you see the jade plant? Its death is unfortunate, but fitting.
That's one word for it. Or two words
Yet
for it.
Another thing to be guilty for. Will you keep helping me? I need you. To find the bastards who killed my progenitor. I need to finish this. I don't know what I'll do afterwards, but I need to see this through. Justice. Yes, good. I knew you'd keep me from losing myself in this. Let's make sure they have the appropriate time to atone for their crimes in prison.
That's one sense of justice.
And if it takes the rest of their lives. I think for now we should keep knowledge of Hayden's death between you, Tomcat, and I.
That's probably fair.
It may give us an edge if the people we seek don't know how much we've already discovered.
Yeah.
We'll talk after you've had some time to rest. You likely need sleep, and I need some time to...
Oh.
I need some time.
Yeah, that's fair. I thought this was... Part of me thought it was the next day, but apparently not, so... ... Oh, don't you love ... I was about to say, seriously, how long is December 21st?
Good morning. I trust you slept well.
Well enough, I'm fine. Split. Sure, how about you?
I had ample time to recharge my internal batteries.
There's the Turing I know! That's not what I meant.
It is upsetting that Hayden is... gone. But life for the rest of us goes on, yes?
That is true.
we still have a mystery to unravel, and I will waste no further processing time over something I cannot reverse. There is no point. Now that we are both refreshed, I feel it wouldn't hurt to recap our progress and determine if any changes should be made based on our successes and failures. Let's talk about how things are going so far.
Alright.
Since your journalistic efforts are a big part of why I originally recruited you, we can start there. Your inquiring mind has been a huge boost in our journey thus far.
Thank you.
As a ROM, I can't talk to people as intently as you, so I must say I'm quite grateful for your skills in that regard. You're diligent in your day-to-day work as well, which further grounds my hope in you. Beyond journalistic persistence, let's take a look at how we've performed in other responsibilities, specifically our choices in overcoming obstacles.
Okay.
I must say,
Sorry, I zoned out a little bit.
Our first hurdle was handled masterfully by you, and we avoided any further issue. Great start! Furthermore, I am pleased with your utilization of non-violent methods. Eliminating any excessive risk should allow us to move swiftly.
Yeah, maybe not always swiftly. Let's be completely
Finally,
fair.
I was quite impressed by your ability to adapt on the fly, as they say, and perform so well when thrust into a sudden situation. Lastly, I'd like to discuss how we're getting along with our companions and allies along the way. It's important.
It is.
I was very impressed with your negotiation abilities with those kids. We got our data cache, and they went on their way, and hopefully learned a lesson too.
We'll see.
Jess is a bit of a harder read, but she did agree to help us out in a big way.
That is true.
As long as her brash nature doesn't tempt you to lash out, I think things will go smoothly.
Did it seem like it was?
Detective Rivers was good to involve as well, and I can tell you enjoy having a familiar face around.
Well, the number of familiar faces is growing fewer and fewer by the
As long as we
day.
make it worth her time, no funny business. Tomcat seems to genuinely care for our cause, and I have no trouble with letting their expertise guide us.
True.
Out of everyone else, they seem to be easiest to get along with, too.
Yeah?
And finally, you and I must say, we have worked together better than I ever expected. I hope you feel the same.
Do I have any input into this?
In our combined ability, and I enjoy your company as well. Please, continue showing me around the city as we continue our search.
Of course.
Unfortunately, we've just about run out of leads. Perhaps Tomcat was able to find something of use
right.
in Parallax's network while they were inside.
My laptop's still destroyed, so I literally am like out of a job. I'm sure they did.
I hope so, but I feel a little bad for relying on them as much as we do.
Oh.
Always going so far for Hayden. They must have been close.
Or it's just kind of the right thing to do. Let's be completely fair.
Oh, speaking of them, incoming call from Tomcat. Forwarding video and audio.
Morning.
Morning.
Turin, how you been doing, hon?
I'm fine, Tomcat. Thank you for your concern.
Well, okay. Just say the word if I can help out in any way. You hear?
Of course. In fact, I was hoping you might have a lead for us to start working at. Otherwise, we're down to canvassing Hayden's address book and seeing if any of his contacts have an idea about who might have had a desire to target him. But that's just fishing in the dark.
Well, I pulled a fair amount of data from the Parallax servers before they managed to kick me out, but it'll take me a while to go through it.
Gotcha.
A lot of it's unrelated. TPS reports, maintenance logs, Juicy meat for other corporations, but about as useful as dirt to us.
Oh, I like how you said us. Implying that we are actually a team.
Files, but maybe we'll find something there.
I mean, we are, obviously, but, you know.
So, no, I don't have as much as a whiff of a trail on who's behind this.
Well...
Though, I recently got a strange request from a friend of a friend.
Oh?
Someone's been messing with the articles of a news organization named Augmented Eye.
Oh.
It seems like the network security head there's asking around for cybercrackers to help figure out how their reports are getting changed. The original files on their servers are untouched. In their system, everything looks peachy keen.
Oh.
But when you view the site from the outside of the network, things are changed up. A word here, phrase there. It's subtle, but often has a big impact on the article's tone. Someone with deep access to Parallax's meshnet is changing what's being shown. I ain't sure if it's related, but maybe y'all can head down to the main KCOB offices and try talking to the gal that runs Augmented Eye. Her name is Zen. I ain't got the time or the desire to stick my nose that far out for a stranger, but it seems like your kind of deal.
It is kind of tangentially related and could be future employment.
It does seem to be a bit of a stretch.
Could you imagine getting on with a big news organization?
We have to wait for you to work on the data we've collected anyway.
I don't know how big of a gig that would actually be. We'd be happy to look into it.
Alright. I'll pass the word along that you'll be in sometime today to stick. And I'll send y'all word as soon as I get anything worth hunting.
Alright.
Excellent. Thank you, Tomcat. We are grateful for your continued assistance.
No problem, Turin. Are you sure you're gonna be okay? Maybe you should take a little more time.
That would be fair.
You've been through some shit in the past few days.
I said I was fine. Thank you for your concern, but I am fine. I have already handled the reality of Hayden's death. It's time to move on with the investigation.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. I'm just worried. So, I'm here if you need anything.
Understood.
You gonna apologize?
I apologize
Okay.
for my tone, Tomcat.
Okay.
We'll be in touch.
Alright. Alright, good turning.
Alright, later, Turin.
Okay, we have a lead, however tenuous. I've highlighted the COS-IO Corp office building on your map.
Alright. I think actually this is where I'm going to...
Also, while we were talking to Tomcat, I received an email from Dr. Fairlight.
Oh. Oh, please not about the machine.
Displaying.
Greetings. I hope you'll forgive me for a voice-only message, but I'm undergoing my treatment and would not call myself presentable for a video call.
That's fair.
Still, I wanted to inform you of an idea I had while looking into our mutual acquaintance's disappearance. I haven't had any luck with my contacts inside Parallax, but I was reminded of an old friend by the name of Melody Flores, who may know more about the nature of Hayden's research. She's the owner of Flowers Cybernetics, and Hayden has been known to work closely with them on projects involving the intersection of Parallax's systems and the implants that Flower designs. Melody and I are no longer on speaking terms, so I'm afraid I can't introduce you. But perhaps the intrigue of Hayden's little robot will get you entry into her home. I hope this lead serves you well. If you need anything else from me, I will be in and out of the hospital room where we met for the next few days. I will send word if I have any other insights or discoveries. Yours, Dr. Yannick Fairlight.
Ah, well.
Interesting. I had no knowledge of Hayden ever working with Flower Cybernetics, but now I'm starting to understand just how little I really knew about his research.
That's got to be painful.
Maybe this melody can reveal more about the purposes of my construction. Hayden must have kept my development secret for a reason. Hopefully we can talk our way in.
Hopefully.
I have highlighted Melody's home on your map.
Thank you. Alright.
Okay, we can now either follow Tomcat's lead to KCOB, or Fairlight's lead to Melody's home.
Now, should be said, obviously we are going to do both, of course. It's not an option.
Tomcat's led us in
It's
the
not
right
a
direction
choose
so
one
far,
and then never do
but
the other.
Fairlight has resources and his tip might end up being more relevant. It depends on what you want our focus to be on in terms of tracking Hayden's trail. Should we follow the media or the tech? It's fitting. They're the two factors that make Neo-SF so unique and wonderful.
Yeah.
If we explore them both to the fullest, there's no way we won't be closer to the answer.
Or further from it. Alright, and we are back. Got a drink, got a new beverage, got topped up. Actually, do I have any water? I have no water. I only have corporate soda. Unnamed corporate soda. So, do we go to Flower Mansion or Casa IO? I think the first time I played the game, I think I went to the media place first. I want to say, and then I went to Flower Mansion. So let's go to Flower Mansion, because I don't think it should matter either way. Oh, I just remembered something interesting about this place, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Something wrong?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was wool gathering.
I don't think I've ever heard that term before.
I see we've arrived at the Melody Flores residence. It's quite impressive.
That it is. The marble statues do not feel like...
But that's to be expected, considering that she is still the majority owner of the Flower Cybernetics Group, despite retiring from day-to-day operations at the company. I wonder how she and Hayden first began working together.
This doesn't seem like a late 21st century kind of thing. I don't know. But,
Sorry,
you know.
back on task.
People's styles is people's styles. I'm not going to judge any further than this is very ornate.
Is there anything you'd like to know before we head inside?
Give me a rundown of Flower Cybernetics.
Flower Cybernetics was established in the early 2000s by Melody's mother, Antonella. It started out developing cutting-edge medical tech, including advanced prosthesis and nanoparticle diagnostic and treatment technologies.
Damn, sounds fancy.
They were vastly successful when they perfected the first synthetic nerve mesh, allowing direct connection and control between the nervous system and a cybernetic prosthesis.
Damn, sounds fancy.
The majority of their early projects were defense technologies for the American military.
Damn, sounds martial.
Developing ruggedized military prosthesis for use on injured soldiers, and then eventually electively for special forces.
Oh, damn.
This research line culminated in the development of brain-controlled androids as shock troops, long since barred by international law. Melody took over the company from her aging mother, and she fought against developing further military hardware from that point on.
Ah.
She pushed the company to use the BCA technology for the company's original goals of medical advancement, as well as developing the first direct link virtual reality implants. The company is largely successful
Sword
on a
Art
global
Online.
scale, despite continued legislative movement against extensive cybernetic use, especially brain implants.
I wanted to say something about Sword Art Online before when we were at the Taku, when we were at the Hassie bar, but I didn't get a word in edgewise. That's probably I don't know. I don't know how many more games I'll do about this. How many more games like this I'll do, but I'll probably have to work on getting my commentary in somewhere. Yeah. What can you tell me about Melody? Is she
not a
possibly
whole
watching
lot.
from a second or third story?
She's largely private, in contrast to her mother's penchant for courting a media circus. Several biographies of former Flower executives show her as intensely passionate about demilitarizing the company to the point of absolute viciousness in the boardroom.
It's fair enough.
But it's been a long time since her days of fighting for the company, and she's since stepped away from the helm. There's talk that she's lost her spine in her old age, but... well, I'd take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
She may have retreated from the corporate battlefield, but you don't change the entire direction of a company as large as Flower if you're a quitter.
True. Very true.
Stay on your toes. He did, and I can't shine much light on that. I know that System 1 worked with Flower to help develop the first operating systems for the Direct Link virtual reality implants, so perhaps it happened during that time.
Oh god, now I'm trying to remember all the shit that Fairlight was on about.
Also, Flower eventually went with a different company for future models of the implant, but there was never any public talk of a personal falling out between the heads of the companies.
Ah, god, I can't remember what Fairlight's whole deal was now. Jeez.
I'll scrape the mesh for more rumors, but they'll only be that, rumors. I can do my best to parse fact from fiction, but it blurs too much for me to be sure what's real. No time like the present, then.
Forgetting what Fairlight's whole deal, like, with System 1 and the merger and everything. Forgetting that it was not a great thing. Small-scale bear statues guard the entrance to the mansion.
These tall shrubs could line the estate of a Victorian duke. They're that stuffily pleasant to look at.
Stuffily pleasant? I want to say present. It's close. It's not as close in game to Christmas. But, well. She needs one of these just for one house? Well. It's fair enough. Hello. Hi, is Melody home?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, I mean, it looked like a bear with some kind of headdress on.
Mine says we can go in. Should we?
Well, it did leave the door open. The door to the Grand Mansion is open. How did that bear even turn the door handle? I mean, I don't know. Bears are
Oh,
fairly
wow.
dexterous.
Swanky.
Well, they can open trash cans. Swanky.
What? I have been trying to increase my usage of colloquialisms.
Yeah, I appreciate the effort.
Is
But
swanky
go with-
too out of date?
It's certainly before my time.
Oh, well,
Oh, Miss Flores!
at least I didn't have to say it.
Excuse us for the intrusion. My name is Turing, and
Oh, I know who you are.
That's usually not the way to greet somebody, but,
I can
you know,
explain.
you can do whatever
I know
you want.
don't like Dr. Fairlight very much, but I assure you there's a situation.
Fairlight. I didn't realize Hayden's research had become a charity case. Though I suppose little boy Yannick will throw money at anything that raises his profile on the mesh.
Wait, you know Hayden? Also, we actually only just met Dr. Fairlight yesterday.
Oh, that's too bad. Now Pat won't have to eat you.
Oh, that's Pat.
What?
Though I'm not sure your gears would have been good for his digestion.
Actually, madam, I'm not comprised of gears.
Well, either way, he's on a diet. This philosophy is how I lead my life. Sometimes you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear, well, he eats you. Do you understand?
Not really.
Enough.
Look, I don't have all day to entertain you, Turing, nor your new friend. Not even for Hayden.
Hi.
You don't have time to waste if you're going to find him, either.
Right.
The most regal-looking robotic cat in the world sits prim and proper on the fainting chair. Oh god, it's a fainting chair. What the hell? Why is this huge marble fountain towards the courtyard? Its pleasant bubbling sound can be just barely be heard over the TV and outdoor ambiance. The latest episode of Media Blitz is going into the sordid details of a new teen actor's island love affair with local politician's daughter. Lovely. Straw. Oh. Let's just talk with her.
If you were one of Fairlight's worker bees, you wouldn't have made it through the door. So why are you here to badger me about poor Hayden?
You have me at a disadvantage, Ms. Flores. You seem far ahead of us on this matter.
Just call me Melody, darling. And of course. But I'll share a secret or two with you.
I have
I'd appreciate
so many
it.
questions. Do you know what's happened to Hayden?
I wish I didn't. Maybe you don't want to either.
Please, Melody, any information you might have.
Would be of great help.
We haven't had access to any of his research notes and couldn't track down any collaborators he may have been working with. Perhaps if we know more, we might be able to nail down a solid motive.
Well, I don't know if I can speculate on that, beyond the usual corporate infighting. Not that Parallax is known for that, of course.
Of course.
We had been catching up recently, and he mentioned feelings of being watched. He started to worry he had been discussing your development with the wrong people. When he stopped returning my calls, and now that you've shown up with a total stranger, it becomes clear what happened.
Did I not introduce myself, by the way? I probably would have introduced myself by now.
I see. Can you tell us anything else about his disappearance?
Oh, I'm afraid not, dear. I've been around long enough to know what's coincidence and what isn't.
We were hoping you might be able to shine some light on my origins. Fairlight mentioned that you had worked with Hayden in the past.
I see Hayden didn't neglect curiosity in your personality makeup. Well, you and I haven't properly met, but considering how often Hayden badgered me for design schematics of Flower's latest neural implants, I might as well be your aunt? We'll go with that.
That's fair.
I
I
wouldn't
think.
mind being an aunt, even to a blue-headed robot.
What about a green-headed robot?
Well then, I'm willing to answer your questions, for now.
How did you help Hayden with Turing?
Indeed. I I don't see the connection between your company and Hayden's research into machine sapiens.
Oh, Hayden wasn't researching machine sapiens. At least not primarily. Not to diminish the importance of your creation, Turing, but it's best you know the truth. Hayden is mainly interested in developing a way to transfer human consciousness into a machine matrix.
Oh.
You can see why neural implants would obviously be an integral part of that.
At least on the surface.
Oh, I didn't realize.
How would...
The concept of transferring the human
Just let her
mind
explain.
into a computer has been an attractive goal for decades. Functional immortality is a powerful lure.
That it would be.
The brain is an immensely complicated machine, and even though we know the right buttons to push to make pictures show up, we still can't replicate the entire thing as a technological construct. Even with the virtual reality implants, we're really just relying on the brain's ability to make sense of nonsensical signals. So Hayden decided the best way to make a machine more like the human brain would be to work in the opposite direction. Instead of mimicking how the human brain worked, he started writing code that mimicked the functioning of the human mind.
Instead of mimicking how the human brain worked, he wrote code to mimic the function of the human mind. Oh, okay, I see. Instead of a more physical, constructive approach, he took a more conceptual approach. I gotcha.
Think of it like convergent evolution. Two species adapt in similar ways, but on completely different continents. Hayden is a crack programmer when it comes to information collating. It's why Parallax hired him when they did. So he wrote a bunch of self-modifying learning algorithms that were, frankly, baffling and let them loose. Poke and prod them here and there to make sure they value the same things humans do. And we eventually end up with you, Turing.
Interesting. Hayden never revealed any of this to me.
That would be...
I imagine he's pretty tight-lipped.
You could say that.
You were the first prototype he considered a real success, and he was afraid of contaminating your development before he had a chance to make good observations.
Yeah, that's fair. Can you elaborate on your involvement?
Phew, if you can even call it involvement. It's a small city, and if you're in the tech sector, you are never more than 2 degrees removed from anyone else. When he started looking into this pet project of his, he came right up to my door and demanded access to the research logs behind our earlier implants. Cheeky, but it was impactful and disruptive, as they like to say around here.
Oh.
I couldn't care less about Flores' patents anymore, so I gave him what he wanted, just to see what he would do.
How new are these patents? How have the patent laws changed?
I'm frankly more impressed than I expected I would be, but don't tell him that.
Don't worry. Secret's safe with us.
Don't worry. I won't.
Like, I'm joking about this, but I'm feeling really fucking bad about it now.
Oh, that was a compliment, dear.
Okay, so I think it's pretty fair to say that she doesn't know. Hayden was invested in Turing's development?
I didn't say that. Hayden was quite interested in Turing, even if he is just a step to further research. In fact, he was preparing to publish his findings involving Turing. And I know it's going to make one heck of a splash in the scientific community. See, the most impressive part about you, Turing, is that you're surprisingly stock.
I assure you, Melody, my construction involves only the latest and greatest in ROM prototype technology.
Exactly. You're not off the shelf, but you're still just a souped-up ROM, more or less like every other one out there. Your personality algorithms are impressive, but they don't require some new space-age technology to work. Hayden is going to propose that human consciousness transference does not require special brain-like hardware architecture, but merely the right software wrapper to interface with the hardware. Much like how you function.
I suppose that is correct.
That is an interesting concept.
Still, my personality matrices do take up substantial amounts of my processing power.
I had forgotten about this detail, actually.
Wouldn't custom hardware have capabilities that better serve such a demanding specialized task?
Just get a new processor. You have to upgrade them every 2 years or anyway.
There's still plenty of reason in trying to make a computer that works just like a human brain. Efficiency is an important part of that. But if Hayden can emulate the human mind in existing technology, it means we can start the immortality now, rather than waiting for hardware to catch up with Hayden's software. Frankly, I'm not terribly interested in living forever, but there's more than enough people who are.
Sure.
Thank you for this, Melody. I understand so little of my origins.
Well, that's a pretty
Well,
big step
I'm
now.
sorry I don't know more of the specifics.
Well, the general
Hayden kept me up to
overview served
date on
pretty
his
well.
progress, but only in the vaguest of ways. If you can hunt down his notes, I'm sure they'll tell you more.
Well.
Of course, we'll keep looking. Now, perhaps we could ask some other questions?
Sure.
What's the story between you and Fairlight?
Oh, hell, that old bastard and I have been flashing daggers at each other for the better part of 20 years.
Damn.
I contracted out the software development for our first-gen direct-link VR neural implants to System 1.
Also, sorry, there seems to be a bit of slowdown going on. I don't know how, but, well...
Things were going great, but after the first models sold like gangbusters, Yannick tried to get into bed with me, literally.
Oh.
I turned him down, very politely, I might add, and then, suddenly all of the cooperation between our companies dried up.
Oh.
We've been at it back and forth ever since. I'd be damned careful about trusting him if I were you. He's a snake, and he'll do anything he can to get what he wants. Still, I suppose if he tried again now, I might not turn him down.
Oh, okay.
It would be fun to needle him about me still having my own company when he doesn't have his. Good. I can get back to my retirement.